Hi everyone. Today I'm going to discuss how I revised my lesson on adding and subtracting integers using two-sided counters. This lesson was aligned with the Virginia SOL Math 6 CE2 standard. The original objective was for my students to model and solve integer addition and subtraction problems using counters. While this worked for many of my students, I wanted to make the lesson more engaging, differentiated, and accessible for students who benefited from visual and interactive learning. My goal was to add digital supports, real-world applications, and scaffold for my diverse learners. I chose Magic School AI because it allowed me to quickly create standard-aligned practice problems, scaffold activities for different learner needs, and generate enrichment extensions for advanced students all in one platform. My initial prompt was I wanted to create a sixth grade math lesson activity aligned for the Virginia SOL Math 6 CE2 that teaches adding and subtracting integers using two-sided counters with real-world examples. The first results gave me clear lesson outline, but I wanted to provide more support to my struggling students, so I refined my prompt to say, how could I scaffold this lesson to include step-by-step visual modeling using counters and at least 3 real-world application problems. What I noticed next was that some of the practice problems were a little too easy for some of my advanced learners. So I added include 2 enrichment problems requiring multi-step reasoning with integers in real-world context. The 2 different activities I chose was a contextual problem set involving sports scores, temperatures, bank account balances, because it connected integer operations to situations that students could understand, real-world examples. And also an enrichment challenge where students interpret and solve multi-step problems involving elevation changes, because it pushes higher order thinking and applies math and science. When looking at the Magic School Bus platform, I found 2 ways where my students could utilize this platform to help them. And one of them was using the IA for problem creation practice. For the first student activity, the objective would be for the students to create their own integer problem using AI, then solve them and explain their reasonings. Students will use the Magic School AI question generator tool with the prompt, create 5 word problems involving adding and subtracting integers with real-world examples. And students will then refine their results by asking, make 2 of the problems multi-step, include a negative integer in each, and they'll solve the problems. And then, they would have to cite Magic School AI as their source in APA format. This also gets them to understand the importance of citing their work and not make them subject to plagiarism. Also, it'll help them because when they're doing this, it gives them examples and it helps explain how they can find the solutions. What I found very interesting with the Magic School is that when they were utilizing this, it allowed them it kind of gave them part of the problem and then had the student, try to generate the remaining part of the answer without giving them the full explanation and answer straight off the initial start, which was very good because it made the kids think. For those students who might continue to struggle, it did provide the answer, but it gave them another opportunity to apply that same principle to another new, fresh problem. So those were one of the benefits of using this format. The second problem that I did was one of the features of Magic School is that it has a math tutor built into the program where if you are struggling with a problem, you can use the math tutor to check and explain your work. His students will enter a problem to be solved, and it would you can use the prompt, check my work and explain step by step how to solve. For example, -3 minus -5 equals 2. And if the AI explanation is different from their own, they can refine their prompt or question by saying use a counter model to explain your steps. This ensures that students use AI as a learning partner rather than a quick answer source. And again, they would have to cite where they received their support from. Using AI responsible means enhancing students' understanding, not replacing their thinking. Whether a teacher or student, the key is clear prompts, refinement, and always giving credit. Thank you for watching.